And we back.
Hey!
We back. Bye-bye.
We are setting it off.
We
have set it off. It's already been set.
It was set off.
It's off, baby.
It's off.
Yeah.
It's now off.
It's already off.
Queen Latifah.
Oh, man, she's really good in that movie.
Queen Latifah is really good and really gay.
Extra gay. You didn't mention you never mentioned her weird girlfriend.
Oh yeah, she has a bald-headed girlfriend that looks like Cisco.
Cisco. Exactly like Cisco.
She looks like Cisco.
She looks exactly like Cisco. Always in a thong too.
She had a scene in a thong.
A scene in a thong, and she didn't say a single word in the entire movie.
No, she cries at the end when Queen Latifah dies like a fucking boss.
Oh man, Queen Latifah goes out. Great.
Yeah.
My favorite is when they think she's dead. And then she gets up and starts shooting some more.
She gets out, she shoots.
She shoots. She's I'm gonna die like a G.
I told you how the news anchor, like, that was the most real nigga shit
Yeah.
I have ever seen on Fox 5 News.
Oh man. It was good. I was right about the love scenes being lame as hell.
Yeah, Blair Underwood's just
not a good actor.
Other Morris Chestnut. Yeah, dude.
Maybe he's not that he wasn't a good actor. I don't know. She's just so much better.
Jada Pinkett was so much better than him. It just didn't look great.
Jada Pinkett, Vivica A. Fox, and Queen Latifah killed the movie.
They did.
Yeah, they were all three of them.
Anything I didn't notice that you noticed? I remember you told me something about the credits.
Oh,
in the beginning.
What happened in the beginning? I totally forgot.
You said it was like Vivica A. Fox.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. That's why I mentioned the three.
You telling me that earlier. Yeah. That was so funny.
There's 4 girls that are part of the heist, right? And in the beginning, the credits only go Vivica A. Fox, Jada Pinkett Smith, Queen Latifah, and they leave the 4th one out.
And then it just set it off.
Just set it off. Because they knew, man. They knew who the real stars of that movie were.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It was, I have to, didn't bring it up, but I gotta ask. I think it's very important for the movie. Is TT retarded?
Down syndrome.
Maybe not Down syndrome.
Autistic, I think it's the right
something.
word.
There's something.
Different.
She's slow, definitely. Definitely. She's either slow or the actor really missed the mark. One of the two.
They're retarded. He said TT retarded. Yo, no offense, TT. I think that not the act. I think they told her like, hey, play it a little retarded.
Yeah.
Play it a little retarded.
I must have, she was laughing at weird times. Always. The entire movie. That's how she laughed. She looked down. And then if not, she always just looked concerned.
Yeah.
Scared.
She also left her baby.
She also left her, yeah.
in a goddamn cleaning
room.
Right? Just and not, you know what, and not to just shame her, to shame all 4 of them, that not one of them was like, you know what, I'll fucking watch this. Okay.
Or set up a playpen.
Or boxes.
Yeah, just be like, you're not allowed to leave this area.
They just set it down and walked away.
And then put on headphones. There wasn't a kid.
They put on fucking headphones.
They all had headphones in. Pretty much.
Did TT deserve to lose her baby? Is the real question of that movie.
I don't think she deserved to lose her baby.
Over that? She was a bank robber.
Over the bank robbery stuff, yes. Not over, you know what I mean? Yes, she should have paid more attention to the kid. But also, kids get into shit.
Oh, yeah, she shouldn't have lost.
She shouldn't have lost her baby off of that. But, yeah, the second she was robbing banks, yeah, that's not her baby anymore.
That's the government's baby.
Yeah, that's somebody else's kid now.
Oh, yeah, that's true, man.
I liked the movie a lot. I liked the non-love parts a lot.
The heists were cool.
The first heist was the best.
The first heist is intense.
Because the music in the first heist is great.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's what I noticed about the first one. And the fact that everyone's just kind of doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's almost Benny Hill,
yeah.
They're all kind of fucking up.
I bet you if you played that to the
it plays.
Yeah, I bet it plays well. I did take issue with all you're wearing is wigs
and sunglasses.
Put on a mask. Why didn't you think of the mask till the 3rd one? Because the second one,
they wanted to get caught.
In the second, they didn't think anything through. Clearly, they didn't think anything through. Leaving the money at your work. When you know Luther is a bad person. You never really set up how bad of a person he is to these
Luther's
women.
Clearly a bad guy.
But Luther is a very bad guy. And so just to leave it somewhere where he could find it.
Yeah.
Is that they just didn't think shit through. The second heist, they put the wigs while they're in the bank. They're in the lobby of the bank, and they put the wigs on.
They did do that.
Yeah. It's not that, they weren't the smartest. It wasn't like a regular heist movie.
No.
No, it was a bank robbery movie.
How was Dr. Cox?
It was so hard not to see him as Dr. Cox.
He's Dr. Cox in this movie.
Yeah.
Other than he didn't go on any silly rants.
Yeah.
He should have went on a silly rant.
Yeah, he's really tough as nails, but at the very end, he shows his humanity. That's very Dr. Cox.
Yeah.
The very end, he puts his hands on the head, lets her walk away.
That's
where the movie should have ended.
The movie, it'd have been a great ending.
It would have been an amazing ending if the movie ended there. Not if she called fucking Morris Chestnut 2.0 and was like, I'm fine. Shut up. Shut up.
You're in Mexico. You got away.
You know what it felt like? It felt like they forced him to put that in. They forced him to add a love story. That's what it felt like.
Gray?
Yeah, it felt like they forced F. Gary to be like, well, it's already 4 black leads, so we gotta keep something the same.
Yeah, because in Straight Outta Compton, he didn't do that shit.
You know what this movie felt like? This movie felt like the first movie of the guy who made Straight Outta Compton. Like you could sort of see, like where he made like the young filmmaker mistakes or like the stuff he hadn't, like. The story, like Straight Outta Compton, what's great about Straight Outta Compton is that the story flows
perfectly. It's tight, real tight.
And this story flows really well.
But there's a lot of
there's some like oh you just don't know how to deal with like plot devices like when they're in the standoff at the end and then they're putting the guns down and then that security guard comes out of nowhere and shoots TT for no reason.
Slow motion.
Yeah.
No,
yeah. That's a very like that was one of those movements.
They put him in. They're like, put that in there.
No, not that they just F. Gary didn't know how to get from that point to the end of the movie. You know?
Yeah.
And it was like, let's add this random security guard because anyone with any sense in that situation would be like, I shouldn't jump in front of the cops and shoot one of these bank robbers that are clearly putting their guns down.
And he got killed because of that.
Yeah, well, like an idiot.
As he should have got. He deserved it.
He deserved to die. Also, why weren't there more cops with Dr. Cox when they come back to the bank? It's just those two.
Yeah, by the time they got back, they should have been surrounded.
Yeah, 100%. It's just those two. The cops in the movie are very stupid.
Yeah.
They let the whole heist go, the second heist go. I like that. They were dealing with the homeless guy up front, and the whole second heist happened.
Yeah, and then they bust through the motherfucking glass. I told you that shot where it's outside the dealing with, and then you just see a fucking tank go through the glass. That was a great shot.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, he was. I mean, he directed the shit out of that, man. And
it was a good movie.
But you can definitely see the little things that like either he was forced to do or that he just had general mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, you could just. It's just like I said, it's like almost like a watered down version of Straight Outta Compton.
Oh yeah, because Straight Outta Compton is tight, perfect, and that raw feeling.
Yeah,
Set It Off has those raw moments, but the whole movie isn't that feeling.
Yeah,
the whole movie of Straight Outta Compton is that feeling.
Well, yeah, the whole love scene seems super manufactured. She's like extra hood, and he's a Harvard businessman.
They didn't need it. The movie didn't need it. All those shots. That whole plot line was unneeded. It could have just been a raw movie without a love story about fucking badass bank robbing bitches.
Great sex scene though.
Sex scene was off the chain.
Yeah, great sex scene. That man, Jada Pinkett, you killed it.
I was thinking about one about Blair.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we didn't have to say that. That was a given.
Oh, Blair Underwood.
You know what I had the thought of while I was watching this movie? I thought about Blade and about how Jada Pinkett would have been a way better girl than the girl they had in Blade.
She probably would have stole the movie.
Yeah, that movie was in serious lack of good acting. And that was the big thing.
What about Deacon Frost?
Oh, Jesus Christ. We're not going to mention. We can't. I'll go down this rabbit hole again. But the biggest takeaway I took from this movie is Jada Pinkett Smith. Or Jada Pinkett at the time. Either way.
Yeah, Jada Pinkett at the time. You're right.
Great actress.
You're amazing, Jada.
Great actress.
You're fucking amazing.
Yeah. This movie made me a fan of her.
Wait till we do Girls Trip.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
Me too.
All right. We set it off, guys.
We set it off. Ehsan Ahmad.
Hey.
Ehsan Ahmad.
Well, yes.
With your fucking hat and your shirt.
Great shirt.
What happens in the movie Armageddon?
What? Okay. Shit. Okay. Fuck. Okay. So something bad is happening to the Earth. Where we start. Shit. What's going on? Is the core overheating? No, I think that's the core.
That's the core. Also a good movie. I've seen that as well.
Never seen
I liked
that
it.
But I do know that's the core. Okay. Oh, fuck. Who was in this movie? Was Bruce Willis in this movie?
Yes.
Was Tommy Lee Jones?
No.
No. Okay. So
I don't know what movie you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Men in Black.
No, because I remember when I was a kid, I watched this space movie with Tommy Lee Jones in it.
Men in Black.
No. Like actual space.
Oh.
Whatever. Regardless. Shit. So there's an asteroid coming. Yeah, because there's asteroid. I remember them in spacesuits. So there's an asteroid coming to Earth, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's gonna be Armageddon!" And so, they say the name of the movie in the movie.
Of
obviously.
course,
this is the type of movie where they say the name of the movie a lot.
They do.
Yeah, I know that for a fact. There's no way it's called Armageddon. And so they're like, "We need 4 volunteers who may never come back to stop this asteroid." So let's see. It's Bruce Willis. He's the guy, he's like the family man type guy. He's like the the Interstellar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like kind of like that. He's got kids at home, but he's like, I have a duty to protect this
He's
Earth.
the scientist guy.
Yeah. I have a duty to protect this Earth. And then there's like a young guy, who's part of the team. Who's inexperienced, but is like, I have the resolve to do this. And then 2 or 3 other random white dudes. They all have their own backstory. One of them's like a hotshot ladies' man, probably.
Okay.
Let's see. The initial plan to stop the asteroid does not work. And now they are stuck up there. In some kind of bad way. Maybe their spaceship is, disabled somehow due to infighting. There's always some infighting that causes some shit to get broken in space.
This is amazing.
Yes, it is. And, they figure out a way to, maybe divert the asteroid's path via using satellites and other space debris plus explosions.
Science. Yeah, I know science. You could have just said science.
Yeah, using science.
Just say science.
Yeah. And then, 2 or 3 of the guys die. Oh, you know what? They all die. But they save Earth.
Okay. Sacrifice.
Yes.
Okay.
Sacrifice.
Okay.
And that's Armageddon.
Wow. That's man. That was beautiful. If anything else.
Wasn't it?
I'm sure everyone watching, you're welcome. That's why I make them do that every time. And you're welcome every fucking time. Armageddon. Not at all what you just said.
Well, are you sure?
I think so. Actually, you know what? Who knows? By the time I'm done with it, I don't even know.
I haven't watched the movie, Deric. I could be right.
You could be right.
All right.
Starts with a voiceover. As all great movies do.
Yeah. When did this come out, by the way?
98, 99.
98, 99. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
in the late 90s.
Okay.
Michael Bay directed.
Oh, that would have been important information to know.
Yeah, if I'd have told you that, but I didn't want to tell you that because it would have ruined how you described it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
oh, man.
starts with a voiceover.
This is the only time I wish I could go back and revise. But it starts with a voiceover.
Of a guy, he's talking about the dinosaurs and how they used to roam the planet. It's a wide shot of Earth.
Okay.
Right? How dinosaurs used to roam this planet. And then a cool, a dope meteor hits Earth, right? This is when, I guess, during dinosaur times.
Yeah, when
and then,
meteors
it's a
were
cool
dope.
shot. Yeah, it's a cool shot of fire taking over the entire Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the dude, he shits on dinosaurs more, on how they couldn't, they didn't have the things to
idiot
deal with
dinosaurs.
it. Yeah, they're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, I swear to God, he goes, it happened before. It will happen again. It's just a question of when.
And then title card.
Armageddon.
Yeah.
That's how Armageddon starts. It starts with a rhyme.
That's
my shit.
That's how you know a good movie.
I love this movie. I've seen it a million times as a kid. I love this fucking movie.
See any difference now as an adult?
I get this movie. As a kid, I loved it. As an adult, I totally get it, and it's necessary. You need these movies.
Okay.
You need these movies.
Well,
man.
You need Michael Bay.
You need Michael Bay.
Michael Bay's
You need
fun.
this.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Mm-hmm.
So astronauts in space doing space stuff. They're fixing a thing.
Yeah.
And then they cut back, like, he's there. It's a guy, he's like fixing on his rocket outside, and then they cut back down to Houston, and Houston, it's Billy Bob Thornton. He's like the main guy in Houston.
Okay.
Okay, like the Houston guy.
He's the Houston guy.
He's like, his name's like Truman.
Okay.
And he's like, he's talking to the guy. He's like, hey, buddy, I'll give you a buffalo nickel if you calm down, right? He's just trying to get the guy to calm down. He's like, I'm trying to calm down, sir. You know what I mean? And then while he's fixing up the space thing, all this happens, a fucking asteroid hits. Bam! Blows him up. Just blows up the whole spaceship, right? So, of course, they're like, oh, what the fuck was that? They think it's like a missile attack. They think it's immediately like, oh, this is a terrorist attack. A terrorist attack. So then they cut back to on Earth, and there's a guy looking through a telescope, like an old dude, and his wife comes in, right? And she's like, I want a divorce. And then he's looking through a telescope.
How old is he?
He's old. He's probably like 50s, 60s.
Oh, okay.
He's looking through a telescope, and he's clearly unbothered by that.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, there's something burning up there. Something on fire. And he goes, hey, honey, get the phone book. Get the phone book. There's a number for those NASA guys. We got to call them. There's something burning up there. And then she's like, did you hear what I said? And he's like, bitch, get the goddamn book. Get the book. Get the book. Get the book. And it's like it pans out, and you just hear him yelling, get the book. Get the book. Like,
okay, so you can see why she wants the divorce a little bit.
Well, a little bit.
Yeah.
He gets shit done. Relax.
Yeah. Did she get the book?
I assume so. She would get the
straight.
book. So then they cut back to Earth, right? And it's like New York, and it's like New York music playing, like, bam, and it's like, you know.
Okay, New York music. I got it.
You'll see what I mean.
I know what you're talking about.
We're in New York, and the sun's coming.
Yeah, and you can walk cool to it.
Right? And there's a black guy on a bicycle, and he's talking shit, and it's Eddie Griffin.
Oh.
It's Eddie, and he's got a little dog. He's like, yeah, rascal, we gonna take over the city, baby. He's just like that kind of character.
Yeah.
Baby, we just doing it up, and we doing it right. He's just talking shit.
Is he the comic relief in this movie?
No.
Oh.
Not in any way.
Oh, okay. He's about to get beat up by a satellite.
So he cuts to him, and he gets to like a newsstand, and there's a big Samoan guy there, and he's arguing with Samoan guy, and he's like, you big pineapple eating motherfucker, because the guy says something about his dog, like a little dog. And then as this is happening, as they're arguing, they look up, and you see an asteroid just come directly down and kill the Samoan dude. Hits him like clean. Bow! Blows up, right?
God damn.
And then they cut to another black comedian. I think his name is Mark Curry.
I've seen his.
I want to say his name's Mark Curry.
I've seen his picture
He's
on the
black,
wall.
Yeah, he's on the store wall. I'll show you literally next time I'm there. Bro, this nigga's on the wall. He's another black comedian, Relief, and he's literally the exact same character as Eddie Griffin, but
great.
in a taxi cab.
That's amazing.
He's giving these Chinese people a ride, and they're like, oh, we want to shop, and he's like, hey, I want to shop too. God damn it, you know what I'm saying? But motherfucker probably jumped off and killed himself. He's just like talking like really fat, talking shit, right, talking crazy, and then it cuts back to the Eddie Griffin dude, and he's like holding his dog by the leash, and his dog's like dangling down this huge hole where like you see like Samoan guy's legs, and he's like, somebody call 911. And then that's the end of Eddie Griffin. So I guess he's the comic.
Okay, so he's in the movie
for literally 2 seconds.
Okay, and he never comes back.
So asteroids start fucking coming in, destroying New York.
Shit.
Pow, 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 just tearing New York apart. And they come back to the black guy in the cab, and he's like, Saddam Hussein is bombing us. You know what I mean? Like, pow, pow, pow.
Lay that propaganda in
early.
They're
getting it in.
Laying the groundwork.
And so New York's just getting blasted to death, carnage, like a lot of death, and then like for a long time. It was a long scene.
Okay, it just
getting
rains on
fucked
them.
up. Yeah. They take down the Empire State. It's a cool shot, like the Empire State Building getting hit and then falling.
Okay, yeah, you always need that. You always need the landmark to fall.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And then everyone's government slowly finds out that it's not like a terrorist attack, that it's like a meteor shower. Like, so they show that it's like, and while that's happening, they do a pan out shot, and it's a shot of the Twin Towers, and they're both burning. Crazy. And it looks like they've both been hit too. Like one's hit, and then one's hit, and then they're both burning.
Do they collapse?
No, they're just both. It looks like when the planes hit.
Oh, that's nuts.
Crazy shot, bro.
That's crazy.
Michael Bay, what you was trying to say?
Yeah, what are you destroying America in multiple ways, Michael Bay?
So they call that Carl guy, and he's on the phone with the NASA dude, right? The dude from the beginning, the Get the Book guy.
Right.
So he's on the phone with NASA.
Because, you can just call NASA and be like, hey, something's up.
So he says, hey, he's like, I found it. And they're like, yeah, you found it. Thank you so much. And he's like, hey, I found it, so I get to name the asteroid, right? And they're like, yeah, sir, you found it. Technically, you get to name it. And he goes, I want to name it Dottie after my wife. And then his wife kind of looks up at him, and she goes, she's a life-sucking bitch from which there's no escape.
Oh, man.
And then she flicks him off.
Cash money talk. talking
it
shit
was
right
like
there, bro.
it was like a well-timed, very good joke.
And this is a random guy. Would I know the actor?
Looks kind of familiar.
Okay.
Maybe. Everybody's really famous. You recognize the wife. Everyone in this is crazy famous.
Okay.
The wife was the mom on Seinfeld, George's wife who dies. Her mom in an episode with the rye bread trying to get it up to a window. Niggas watching gonna get this. I appreciate y'all. So it's in a meeting. They're in a meeting now with the president, right? All the top people in the world, and they finding out like that the meteor is the size of Texas.
Okay, so these are just like meteor flakes that are hitting New York.
These are meteor flakes hitting the size of cars and golf
like,
balls and things like that. But this one's the size of motherfucking the one that's coming is the size of Texas. It's a global killer. It'll end mankind. Nothing survive, not even bacteria. That's what they say. You know, and then they're like, my God, what do we do? You know, and then they show a guy running in a hallway, and then like he gets to the thing, and then he slams paper on the desk, and he goes, 18 days. We have 18 days before it hits Earth.
Oh God.
And everybody's like, oh. And then they it's like down, like that kind of music plays. And we meet our hero, baby.
Yeah.
And he's hitting golf balls off an oil rig into protesters. And he's like, rise and shine. And he's just hitting them. And they're just getting hit. And they're like, oh. And he's like, oh, what's wrong? You guys don't like this?
What the fuck?
Yo, it's people like protesting like drilling of oil. And he's just hitting golf balls at them. That's how we meet him.
It sounds like a monster.
Oh, he's amazing. You meet him and you're like, oh, he's very likable in this moment.
He's very likable.
Because you're just like, oh, I like this guy.
Yeah.
I like that he doesn't give a fuck.
That's pretty ballsy.
It's just like, fuck everybody.
Is it Bruce Willis?
It's Bruce Willis.
Hey!
It's our hero.
Oh.
His number 2 comes up to him, who is also a famous actor. He was the head coach who's not Denzel Washington in Remember the Titans. You know the other dude in Remember the Titans? You seen Remember the Titans?
Yeah.
The other dude, Coach
It's been
Boone.
so long.
Not Coach Boone, but the other coach. The white guy. You know
The white guy. Okay.
The white guy. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? They do not gain another yard. That guy. Other people, I know you got that too.
This one's more for you guys than it is for me.
It
I
is.
think.
Sometimes I like that fun.
Yeah.
So the assistant coach guy, his number two, Bruce Willis' number 2, he tells him like, hey, this guy named AJ, who we come to find out is Ben Affleck.
Okay. Oh,
This movie star-studded. Everyone in the movie's famous.
That's
Every single
crazy.
person in the movie. And I mean like their own right, huge famous.
Okay.
Every single person. You know what I mean? And so he's like, he did something and he fucked up, and then he gets mad. Like Bruce Willis is like, he's a young guy. He's always fucking up. I'm so mad at him.
So there's a young guy.
He's the young cocky dude.
right.
I'm sick of his bullshit.
All right.
So he runs down to AJ. That's where he meets him. And Ben Affleck's clearly in bed hiding a girl. You know, you're busting up somebody and they're like, and he's like, oh, and he's trying to like, he hops out of bed and he's like clever somehow. And you see a girl like slide her feet under the cover.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he's going off on him. And he's like, AJ, I need to hear 5 words from you right now. And he's like, I'll never do that again. And he's like, I'm sorry. I will never do it again, Harry. I'm sorry I fucked up. And then he's like, he stops him. And he's like, in the 5 years I've known you, you've never apologized this much. And he's like, I'm learning from you, Harry. I'm learning from the man. You're Harry. You're Harry's thing. I'm trying to learn from you. I'm just trying to be a better person. And like, shh. And then he uses his golf thing and he finds like a thong. And he's like, what's this? And he's like, I don't know. And then he pulls the cover back and he sees a girl and he goes, hi, Grace. And she goes, hi, Harry. And he goes, I've repeatedly told you to call me Dad. And then he looks at Ben Affleck and he goes, stay right here. And then Ben Affleck immediately starts running. He knows what's up because he walks out and then they're like, and his number 2 guy's like, Harry, hey, yo, Harry, all right, Harry?
Yeah.
And he's just running. Ben Affleck's running. And he tells he runs by like everybody and the Harry dude goes and gets a shotgun. He cocks it and he starts looking for him. And he shoots at him one time, right?
Jesus.
And he's like, oh, Harry. And then he runs across the rig and he tells the big black dude, it's Michael Clark Duncan.
Wow.
He's also in this.
Yeah.
And he tells Michael Clark Duncan, he goes, hey, Michael Clark, he said, Harry's trying to shoot me. When he comes by, bash him with this wrench because he has a wrench in his hand. He's like, all right, I got you, AJ. And then Harry comes up and he's like, and then Michael Clark Duncan guy is like to Bruce Willis, he's like, hey, I need you to put that gun down, Harry, and stop shooting at my man. And then he looks at him, he's like, Bear, move now. He's like, I was just trying to get my man a head start, brother. You know what it is.
God, so Bruce Willis is a boss.
Oh, he's that dude. Clearly that dude.
Mm-hmm.
So he's chasing after him, and then he keeps shooting at him, and then finally Ben Affleck's like, Harry, stop, seriously, man to man, I love her. Wrong answer. Bow, and he shoots him in the leg.
Oh, Jesus.
But he doesn't try to. He shoots him like near his leg, and it ricochets off and hits him in the leg. And everybody's like, whoa, come on, man, Harry, it's getting serious. And then Ben Affleck's like, and he's like, oh, it's just a ricochet. He's fine. It ricocheted him in the leg. He's like, yeah, it's all funny until somebody gets shot in the leg. Ben Affleck, he's mad. And so they're just kind of going off about that, right?
You know how it is when someone shoots you in the leg.
Yeah, it's very, you can tell it's like, this is the vibe.
Using off a one-liner.
This is the vibe.
Right.
This is the crew. So NASA is back in the meeting room, and they're trying to figure out how to save Earth, right? And everyone has bad ideas. And Billy Bob Thornton, he's getting mad. He's like, time is a luxury we don't have. This is bullshit. And he slams papers down and he grabs his head, and then it cuts back to the oil rig. And then it's Ben Affleck and his daughter, Grace, who is Liv Tyler.
Oh.
Everyone in the movie is extremely famous.
Jesus.
Yeah. So Liv Tyler, and they're arguing. And she's like, I've been older than you since I was 10 years old, Harry. Because he's telling her, like, I don't want you dating him. You gotta be making decisions like that. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm way more mature than you. Don't tell me what to do.
Right.
And then she's like, I've been, all I've been around is roughnecks. That's no surprise I would be with one. She was like, even Rockhound taught me to use a tampon when I was 13 years old. And he grabs the Rockhound, and it's Steve Buscemi.
What's happening?
The whole movie, dude. And Steve Buscemi goes, whoa, I told her how to use it. I didn't show her.
This movie's great.
Oh, dude, I love it. It's fun.
Very Michael Bay.
Fun. It's it's like Transformers without the robots.
Yeah, it's Transformers if Optimus Prime was a huge asteroid. Or Megatron was an asteroid, I guess.
So he's looking at him, and they're kind of arguing, and they argue more, right? And it's whatever. So they cut back to NASA, and then now they got the smartest man on Earth.
Who is?
He's a famous actor too, but I don't know.
Okay, so not that famous.
When you see him, you'll be like, oh, that guy.
Okay, that motherfucker.
You're that guy famous.
Hey.
So they get him right, and then they're like, he's arguing with this general. The general is like, the president's top advisors say we can shoot if we shoot enough 100 nukes at it, it'll change the course of it. And then the guy's like, if you want to take advice from the president, from a guy who got a C- in something major, you take advice from the president's advisors. He's like, I'm the guy who got an A. I'm the right one.
Okay.
He's like that. He's like a cocky.
I dig that line. That line.
He's like, they're wrong. I'm right. And then they're like, you shooting fire nukes at will do nothing. He's like, then what do you suppose we do? And he goes, imagine a firecracker in the palm of your hand. You set it off, it burns you. Now close that hand. Set that same firecracker off. Your wife's going to be opening your ketchup bottles for the rest of your life. Weird line, but that's what he said.
Yeah, Dr. Almost Zinger over here.
And then they're like, they all look at him, they're like, he's right. And then Billy Bob Thornton goes, get me the world's best drillers. Are you seeing the storyline?
No way.
Is the storyline starting to come together a little bit for you?
What the fuck?
So the back on the oil rig. I don't know. Oil rig where they drill oil.
I got
it now?
I was like, the second you told me he worked on an oil rig, I was like, why are they going to use them? Oh.
I love this movie, dude. It's amazing. So on the oil rig, they hit oil. They strike oil, right?
Can I just say?
Yes.
How incredibly stupid. I love it. It's amazing. But Jesus. And everyone in the advisor meeting takes him seriously, right? No one's like, this fucking
It was the best plan.
I mean, I guess.
You should have seen the other plans they came up with.
Okay.
Not good.
Okay, giant rubber band. What were the other plans?
The other plans were pretty much, they were like, we'll use helium or some shit. It was like bad. And then this one made sense.
Yeah.
This one, and as I explain more to you, it will only make more sense.
Yeah. You just, drill a big hole in an asteroid the size of Texas.
Yes.
Okay.
I know. When you say it like that, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
right. So they hit oil, they strike oil on the rig, right?
Okay.
And everyone starts going crazy. And Ben Affleck yells. He was like, I knew I was right. I told you, I knew I was right. But Bruce Willis was like, you're not right. This is dangerous. This is not the oil we're supposed to blah, blah, blah. And then they go back and forth, right? And then oil's just spewing everywhere and they're trying to save it. And then Michael Clark Duncan's on top of the rig. He's like, we strike oil, baby. Yeah. And everybody else is happy. And then Ben Affleck's like, yeah, I knew it. And then, but the Bruce Willis character, he's still mad at him. I think mainly about the daughter thing.
Right.
Looking back.
And how's Ben Affleck's leg?
Oh, it was a ricochet. He didn't get shot.
Oh, so just like a flesh wound.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but after this, Bruce Willis fires him. He goes, you're fired.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I want you off this rig You know what I mean? You could have really hurt somebody today. And then there were some Asian tourists. When he said that, there were some Asian tourists who were on the rig, and they looked at the Bruce Willis character. They were like, "You the man, Harry." And he's like, "Yeah, like I know."
You know what's funny? I do appreciate them including diverse, like having a diverse cast of extras, I guess. But it's so funny how everyone's this massive stereotype.
Everyone's a master. Everyone's also really famous, which is weird.
Yeah.
So then the government comes in, chopper, lands on the oil rig. Everybody's still covered in oil. And they go up to Bruce Willis, and it's a guy, and he's like, "Sir, this is a matter of national security. We need you to come on this chopper right now, no questions." And then Bruce Willis laughs, and he's like, "Did Crazy Willie put you up to this?" And then the guy,
you know how Crazy Willie just gets the government involved.
Yeah, and the guy's
That's
like,
Crazy Willie. Yeah.
He's like, "I don't think I know a Crazy Willie, sir. This is really important."
Right.
And he's like, "All right, well, if I come, I have to bring my daughter. I don't keep secrets from her anyway. So if I'm coming, she's coming." They're like, "All right." So he gets on the plane. He tells his number 2, like, "Get everybody paid and get them off the oil rig." So they leave. They get to NASA, and they tell them everything that's happening. Like, they tell them to, like, everything that's going to happen when it hits.
Okay.
Like that,
just that step by step of what.
Yeah, there's 6 billion on the, like everything that's going to happen and all these bad things. And then Bruce Willis is like, there's 6 billion people on the planet. Why'd you guys call me? And then they tell him that, like, we want you to train a group of guys to, go
and
drill on this, asteroid, and like not him, but just train him. You want you to train him. We already have the asteroids. We already have the equipment. And then they show him the equipment, and he's pissed because he's like, "Oh, you guys they apparently stole his like models for rigs, but they fucked them all up." And he's like, "You guys didn't even get it right." And he was telling them how they're getting it wrong. He was like telling how the smartest guy on the earth, like he was telling them like, "Oh, we did this for space," and he was like, "Oh, well, you did this wrong," because he's doing it like in his redneck accent, kind of like, you're not really, but a little bit,
The scientist guy, Dr. Almost-Zinger?
No, the Bruce Willis character.
Okay.
Kind of like a redneck, a little bit, but not all the way. Just like a little bit of like a redneck.
Sorry, Bruce Willis is talking to the scientist guy.
Yeah, he's talking to the scientist guy. And he's just pissed about how, he's like, because they did a piss poor job putting together his equipment. You know what I mean? He's like, "You guys did a piss poor job." And he was like telling him, like, drilling is a science. He's like, "It's an art. I'm a third generation driller." He's like, "My dad, my granddad." He's like, "The reason I'm the best is because I work with the best." He's like, "If you want me to do this," he's like, "I'm going to need my guys, to do it." And then he's like, "But what's your backup plan?" And then Billy Bob Thornton's like, "We don't have a backup plan." He's like, "God damn it, you're NASA? You don't have a goddamn backup plan?"
I mean, plan A isn't very strong.
Right?
Yeah.
He's like, "Jesus, man." And he's like, "All we got to do is drill." He's like, "That's all you got to do." He's like, "No man on the moon shit, no spacewalking, no bringing back artifacts." He's like, "Just drill, drop the bomb off."
One bomb.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then he's like, "All right, if I do this, I want to bring my own men." And the guy's like, the head of NASA goes, "You got it."
Yeah, chill, dude.
He walks away to like, "All right, let's do this." His daughter looks at Bruce Willis. She's all pissed. Liv Tyler character. She's all pissed. And then he goes, "I just don't trust anyone else to do it, baby." She's like,
Yeah.
"Why you, daddy?"
Oh, now she calls him dad? She seems very ungrateful.
So that cool Beatles song plays that, "Come together right now." Oh, that shit.
Yeah, I know the song.
To me, that's the whole best part of the movie. Just the little things like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's the parts I really like.
What are they showing people walking?
No, they're playing that because now they're rounding up the gang.
Ah.
Now they're rounding up all the oil gang.
Of course.
And they're all doing wild shit. Obviously. Like, one's riding bikes from the police. It's Michael Clark Duncan. He's like, "Come on, baby." He's like just literally like trying to get away from like the FBI.
Right. And then the government comes in and swoops him?
No, they show him, and then they're like, one of them's like getting tattoos. Like, one of the dudes, he's just getting covered in tattoos. And then they were like, he's like, and then it cuts back to Bruce Willis, and he's like, "I want Rockhound." And they're like, "Why do they call him Rockhound?" He's like, "Cause he's horny." And then it's the Steve Buscemi character, and he's just like at a strip club, just making it rain, talking crazy. And then they're like, "We need this other guy. He's a cowboy, and it's Owen Wilson."
Wait, what?
Owen Wilson's in the movie.
Okay.
He's the comedy relief.
Oh, thank God. I thought it was gonna be a black dude for a second.
No. So Owen Wilson, he's like riding cowboys like away from the FBI, like riding on a horse.
Okay, so that's a common theme.
Yeah, he's like, dude, I guess.
They're riding not cars away from the FBI.
His number 2 dude, they find him gambling. You know what I mean? Like at a casino, like at the Caesar's Palace or some shit. And then they're like, "All right, we need one more top driller." And he's like, "There's only other one man I trust for the job." He's like, "That's AJ." And she was like, "I thought you didn't trust him." He was like, "Yeah, but you do." He's talking to his daughter.
Mm-hmm. Aww.
Yeah. Aww. And then so she like, he leaves to go find him, and he's setting up his own drilling company. You know, and then the Bruce Willis character's like, hey, I'm proud of you, doing good, man. You know, but you know, I'm wondering if you might need my help. And he's like, well, if I'm gonna need your help, I'm gonna need to hear, you know, 5 words from you. And he's like, all right, what's that? And he's like, AJ, I want to, you know, I'm really embarrassed and I'm really sorry and I'm impressed with you and I'm emotionally cut off. And he's like, that might be like 11 words, but I need to hear those words, you know?
Right.
And then the Bruce Willis character is like, there isn't a job on the planet I'd want to ever do with you. And then he walks away and then Ben Affleck's, wait, what's the job? What's the job? And then he like clearly like, all right, that's enough.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man. That's all it took.
All right. So quick question.
Yeah.
So AJ's setting up his own drilling company.
Yeah.
Now, do the people of Earth know that this asteroid is coming?
Not yet.
Okay.
No one knows.
Okay. All right.
Everyone thinks it was still just a meteor strike at one point.
Okay. And everyone's just kind of chill with that.
Makes sense.
I guess.
I mean, if that would have happened, they wouldn't tell us that the world's ending.
Yeah, I guess you're
They
right.
would just let us live.
Yeah. Yeah, and let people start a new business with 18 days left. That's so cruel. Let them enjoy the 18 days.
Why not? So they get to NASA, right?
Yeah.
All the crew, and they're all excited to see each other. They're like, oh, hey, what are you doing?
Mhm.
And so they pull him inside Bruce Willis, and he's like, okay, gentlemen. And he tells them everything that's going on. And they clearly, like, they're reacting to the news. They're taking it bad.
Right.
And then he's like, Bruce Willis goes, the United States government just asked us to save the world. He's talking to his team of oil drillers. He's like, anyone want to say no? It's okay. Just say it now.
Not a single astronaut.
No, not a single astronaut.
No.
Everybody's oil drillers.
Just oil,
then,
untrained
you know,
in
they're all
fucking
like-
space.
Yeah, and they're all
All
saying
right.
different things like 30 years I've never said no to you. You know, like,
Yeah.
never said no to a job. Or, you know, beam me up, Scotty. Like, you know, they're all like saying their things. They're like, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And then the government, by the way, clearly doesn't want them. Like the military dudes,
Right.
they're like against it. They're like, oh, these guys don't know what they're doing. He's like, the fate of the planet is in the hands of a bunch of retards I wouldn't trust with a potato gun. Like, that's what one guy says about him.
Right.
You know
Smart.
what I mean?
Build morale.
Yeah. And then Bruce Willis comes up and he's like, hey, so we have some demands. And he's kind of like trying not to say them. And he's like, oh, well, what are they? And he's like, okay, well, one of our guys, he has like a lot of parking tickets. He wants those removed, all of his parking tickets. And they're like, Max, our guy Max, he was wondering if you guys could bring back 8-track tapes. I don't know if that's a thing you guys could do.
That's really funny.
He was like, my number 2, he wants the full package at Caesar's Palace, like when he wants.
Yeah.
He's like, you guys wouldn't be able to tell us who killed Kennedy, right? And they're like, no. He's like, okay. And he looks back and he's like, and they're like,
Oh, yeah, that's funny. That's really funny. That's very
and then
funny.
he said, Bear would like to stay at the White Horse. He wants to stay every summer at the White Horse. And he goes, White House. Michael Clark Duncan, White House. He goes, yeah, White House. And they're like, and then the government guy's like, okay, I think we can do that. And he was like, oh, and they all were wondering if they could never pay taxes again. Ever.
That's a pretty good demand.
They're saving the world.
Yeah.
I'm asking for wild shit too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll at least get most of it.
Yeah. Give me a giraffe and a Lamborghini.
And I don't want to pay taxes.
Yeah. Both. All three. All three.
So next they're in like a doctor's office, right? And then it's a lady talking to the one guy and she's got like a big needle. And then he's like, you stick me with that, I'm going to stab you in the heart with it. You ever seen Pulp Fiction?
Ooh, good movie reference. In the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, there's a good movie reference in it. And
Yeah.
then like a lady comes out with a dildo, like a huge metal rod thing, and then she looks at him. She's like the number 2 guy, and she's like, "Honey, you're next." And then his name's like Chappelle, I think. She's like, "Chappelle, you're next." And he goes, "Oh shit, lady, I just came here to drill." And she goes, "It's funny. So did I." And he walks out. He just walks out the doctor's office.
And then drop 2 dope Netflix
Yeah.
specials.
Oh yeah, he also did.
Yeah, good old Chappelle.
They eventually,
Yeah.
they eventually just turned the office into like the doctor's office into like a party. They're literally just stripping in that shit and turning it up. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It's like crazy.
Yeah.
And then they take them to like a psychiatry ward thing where there's like a microphone dangling and they're just all fucking with the microphone. And like one guy's like, the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. You know, and they're like
Oh
asking him
man,
like,
and they're still almost 20 years away.
oh yeah. They're like, what bothers you? They ask Owen Wilson character, like in the psychiatric thing, like, what bothers you? He's like, it really bothers me when people think Jethro Tull's just a member in a band. And then the guy goes, who's Jethro Tull? And then Joan Wilson just like pissed. And he's like, and so they're just completely in there bullshitting, right?
Right.
And then they get all their results, and then the Billy Bob Thornton's like, do they pass? And then he's like, fail. He's like, one of them got tested positive for ketamine, and he's like, oh well, that's not that bad. He's like, it was enough ketamine to kill a horse, and he's like, he's a big guy.
All right, okay, line.
Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. And then and he's like, look, he's like, I don't need to know if they can if they can psychologically, deal with this. I need to know if they can physically survive the trip. And then he looks at him, he's like, I don't know how they survive the test. Pass. He passes.
What?
It's Michael Bay, man. It's just all the lines are set up like that.
Jesus, that made me feel gross.
Why?
I don't like it. Some of these I like, some of these I don't.
I know. So the next thing they do is they're walking towards the ship and they meet Colonel Sharp. Colonel Sharp is he's the guy. You recognize him too. He's the bad dude in the longest yard. He's the quarterback.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, that's a
So he's in it. They meet him and he shows them like 2 spaceships, and he shows them like all the other people on their teams and like, these are the astronauts who are gonna come with us. These are, the comm guys. These are the people who are gonna fly the spaceships. There's 2 spaceships, 2 teams. We have two of everything. So we double down. You know what I mean? They also show them that like they show them like these underwater swimming things, and they're like, are we gonna be swimming on this asteroid? And then they're like showing them like armadillo, like this cool armadillo car that like can shoot. It's like what's supposed to be the drill. Okay. It's like what they're gonna use a drill.
Okay.
And it can do like all these other cool things. And
Yeah.
like they all the oil guys get on it immediately, like, oh, it's all bullshit. And they like start throwing all the unnecessary stuff out. And they're like, what is this? A big goddamn ice cream scoop handle? You know what I mean? Like they're just getting rid of all the shit and throwing it around. It's just like one of those kind of montages.
Yeah,
it's kind of more like a montage.
You know how you do with NASA. Just like, we can improve this. you know how it is. You know how NASA's like middle of the pack.
So then they cut to and they're getting like the speed training, and it's a speed guy, and he's all like, I'm gonna twist you. I'm gonna flip you. He's like, I'm gonna wrap your body till your bones hurt. And he's like, and when you squeal, I'm gonna go faster and harder. And then it's like, wow! And it's like them like flying through, like, like getting ready to like on
For
jets.
zero gravity.
Yeah, all that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they cut back to the asteroid, and it's getting closer. And every time they cut to the asteroid, they play like really fucked up dark music. It's really funny. It's like,
so we're getting a shot of the asteroid in between all this.
right there. They show you like what it looks like and how it's getting close.
Okay.
They show them, and then they cut back to like they're in like everybody's in a classroom, and they're showing them how they're gonna land on the asteroid.
Right.
So they're like, all right, these are the 2 spaceships.
Mm-hmm.
You guys will leave Earth, and you'll land at a Russian space dock where you'll refuel. And once you refuel, you'll head towards the moon. And when you get to the moon, you will fucking slingshot.
Okay. That was my guess, like the Martian.
You'll use boosters. Yeah. Slingshot around the moon.
Mm-hmm.
It'll you use the moon's gravity, it'll whip you back around really fast, and then you'll be able to land on the asteroid from the back.
Okay. That's a plan.
A Roadrunner thrust move is what Billy Bob Thornton called it.
Of course. I mean, again, you didn't need to say that. We all knew. The classic Roadrunner thrust. Roadrunner thrust. What does that mean?
Owen Wilson asks him, like, he's like, so how's it going to be on the asteroid? And then Billy Bob Thornton's like,
you're in space, idiot. Is that what he said?
He said it's going to be horrible. He's like, unexpected eruptions,
yeah.
Gases, pockets that explode, things like that, unbearable temperatures. And then Owen Wilson's character is like, he just cuts him off. He's like, scariest environment imaginable. Okay. He's like, you just say that.
Yeah.
Just say scariest environment imaginable.
Right. Yeah.
He's like, bro, the Owen Wilson character, he's really snarky. He's almost like a Paul Rudd.
Really?
Yeah, when you see it, you'll see what I mean.
All right, I like a good snark.
He's really snarky.
Mm-hmm. You need that at the end of the world.
So Bruce Willis leaves.
Mm-hmm.
He leaves the meeting. He goes looking for Grace.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Have they said the words Armageddon at any point?
Not yet. It's coming.
Okay.
Bruce Willis leaves, and he goes looking for Grace. He finds her, and she's on the back of like a rocket thing with Ben Affleck.
Okay.
And they're like kissing and getting all flirty, and he looks a little mad. And then he walks away, and then Ben Affleck proposes to the Grace chick. She says yes.
He's going to die.
Proposes to the Grace chick. She says yes. So Bruce Willis, he goes back to the boys, and he's pissed. And he's talking to his guys, and they tell him like, yo, you got to relax. She's a grown-ass woman. You got to chill out at this point. And then Owen Wilson starts saying like wild shit. He's like, come on, man. She's just, she's coming into her body, and she's becoming an adult, and she's having sexual awakenings, and that's good. And he's like, y'all are the same age. What the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's like, I know how I feel. I can feel my body. He's like, Owen Wilson's talking wild shit.
Yeah.
And Bruce Willis says, I'll be damned if I let my daughter grow up to be with a roughneck. You know, because that's what he is, I guess. He's
Yeah,
a
well, then don't bring her to work.
like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
So they're doing underwater simulation stuff,
Mhm.
and NASA tries to trick the AJ dude, the Ben Affleck character, because they're like, oh, we're gonna. You can hear it behind them. They're gonna like, oh, we're gonna act like it's one thing, but we're really gonna trick to see what he does.
Just throw it at him.
To throw him off.
Yeah.
And AJ, like, they're telling him like, hey AJ, you need to back off. The thing's saying you need to back off, and he's like not listening to him.
Yeah.
He's like, no, something's not right. I know we need to keep drilling. We got to keep drilling. I know this is right. And then they're like, hey AJ, you need to back off. And then the hairy guy, the Bruce Willis character, is like, you need to back off. And then the bear dude who's on his team, and Owen Wilson, they're on his team.
Yeah.
And Bear's like, hey, I think we should listen to Harry. And he's like, don't listen to. He's like, Bear, whose team are you on? Come on, man. We keep drilling. We keep going. And they're like, hey, you need to back off. It's like, we keep drilling. We keep going. And then it finally like and it goes down. And he's like, oh, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's not right. And then they're like, get him out of the water. And they call him up. And then Bruce Willis is like, hey, what are you doing, man? He's like, it was bullshit. You knew I was right. Like, you know what I'm saying? You knew that machine was rigged, so I'd be wrong. But you knew I made the right call. And he's like, and then he went off. It's like, that's not what it's about. It's like, we're trying to save the world. It's not about you hot dogging and showboating, man. Just do what you got to do. You know what I mean? He's like, say I got it. He's like, I got it. They're like kind of yelling at each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then he walks away, and Bruce Willis, he goes up to Billy Bob Thornton. He's like, I need my crew to have a day off. He's like, we're about to save the world tomorrow. Like, in 2 days, you can't have a day off. He's like, if you want us to save the world, he's like, shouldn't we be able to see our daughters and our family? Huh? It's like, if you don't want them to be fucking crazy when they go up there, give them a day. It's not, he's like, I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. And then Billy Bob Thornton's like, fuck. And the next shot is them like all driving off, and like all their shirts are off, and they're like swinging. You know what I mean? Just like clearly like these guys are fucking insane.
Yeah, these guys are ridiculous.
Just fucking insane. So it goes to Ben Affleck and his lady.
Okay.
First it cuts to Rockhound, the Rockhound dude, the Steve Buscemi guy, and he like goes to a loan shark.
Okay.
And gets way too gets like 100,000 out. And the guy's like, "Are you sure you're gonna be able to pay this back?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, man, don't go dying on me." And the guy's like, "I won't." And Bruce Buscemi's character's like, "No, I promise I won't."
Yeah, right. So Steve Buscemi's like, "Oh, I'm about to fucking die."
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
No fucks given. He's also really smart. He's like when they were doing the psychiatric thing, it let it be known that he was like a kid genius.
Okay.
He's just a crazy person.
Okay.
So then it cuts to Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler, and they're like in the middle of some park somewhere, and it's that song playing from don't want to close my eyes.
Oh God, this is
I don't want to fall asleep.
This is so 90s.
I miss you, baby. That one.
Isn't that
Don't wanna miss
who's
a
that?
thing.
That's Aerosmith, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that Liv Tyler's dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're laying in the park while her dad is playing.
Yeah.
Also, this is a love scene, by the way.
Yeah. So they're fucking.
No, not fucking. Her shirt's open, and, and Ben Affleck's got like animal crackers. And he's doing like a Discovery Channel voice, like, and he's talking about her titties and her eating her pussy, and he's like, the gazelle, goes up to the mountainous tops, and then he goes down below. He's like talking like that,
right?
And they're like, and it's like a romantic scene. They're like kissing and shit.
Yeah, to her dad.
And then to her dad. And then she looks up and she says, "Do you think it's possible that anyone in the world in this very moment is doing the exact same thing?" And he goes, "It's possible." And then they kiss. Don't want to close my eyes. Don't want to fall asleep. So then it goes to the number 2 dude, right? And he goes and he visits his ex-wife, right?
Yeah.
And like a little boy, and she's like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "I needed to come talk to you."
Mm-hmm.
And a little boy runs out, and she's like, "Hi, who's this man, mommy?" And she's like, "Oh, it's just some salesman, honey. Go back inside." And then he's kind of like, until he hits him, like, "Fuck," And then she's like,
kid, huh?
"Yeah." And then she goes like, "The court said you weren't supposed to be around here. They said you can't show up on him like this. It's not good for him for you to just show up randomly like this if you're not gonna be here." And he's like, "Well, look, I just wanted to tell you that I got something kind of big coming up. It's something that I think you might be proud of me for." And she's like, "Okay." And he's like, He's like, "I know you don't want me to see him, but can you just give him this?" And it's a toy spaceship. He's like, "You don't have to tell him what it's from or what it's about. Just give it to him." And she's like, "Okay." And then it cuts to the Rockhound guy, and he's at the strip club just making it rain.
Hell
and
yeah.
he's got like all these hoes with him, and it's the big Max dude with him too, and they got all these hoes. And then this other bald dude comes up to him, right? It's like with a group of guys, and they're like, "Hey, you're hogging all the hoes." That's what he's pretty much is what he says. You're hogging all the hoes. And then the guy's like, the Rockhound, he throws money at him, like, "Man, go fuck yourself," you know what I mean? And then a big fight breaks out.
Okay.
And then as they're getting arrested, the Rockhound and the Max dude, they're like, "Hey, we're astronauts. You better let us go. This is national security. You gotta let us go. We're astronauts." And everybody starts going like, "Yeah, we're all astronauts. We're all astronauts." And he's like, "You're gonna be working for fucking Toys R Us when I'm done with you." He's just talking shit. The Steve Buscemi character. He's crazy.
Yeah.
He's clearly like a crazy person that they're about to send to space.
That's the best person to send to space.
Yeah.
Right?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, what are you talking about? That's some guy who likes it here on Earth.
So the next scene is like China. It's like shots of China.
Mm-hmm.
It's like China waking up, and then asteroids fuck China up. Like on some Hiroshima shit, my nigga. Just fucks up China.
Damn.
They got fucked.
Yeah.
They're fucked in this movie.
Yeah.
Really crazy scene. Then the next scene is Billy Bob, and he's sitting in his office, and he's all stressed. And he's like, he's fucked up, and he's like, he looks at Bruce Willis, and he's like, "Tell me you never let anybody down before." And he's like, "I've never quit. I can tell you that." And he's like, "Boy, I just wanted to be up there, man. I just want to be one of you guys." And then he has like a hurt leg, and he has like this little brace, and he's like, but like an injury. And he's like, "But all I ever wanted to have was one of those mission patches that is on the astronaut sleeve."
Right.
So that's all I ever dreamed of. He's like, "I'd do anything to trade spots with you."
Billy Bob's going to space, baby. Hell
I'll do
yeah.
anything to trade spots. So the world news now, after the China thing, has now picked up that this big asteroid's coming to kill Earth.
Yeah.
Like now it's now world news, right?
Okay,
and
so
it's
now
on all the stations.
Panic ensues.
Panic ensues, and and they tell everybody like all the space stations are coming together on the news for this, and like they have a plan, and they're gonna save the world. So Bruce Willis, the night before the thing, he goes to some site to see his daughter, right? And then they talk about his mother and how she doesn't blame him for leaving and all these things, and then he's like. He starts telling her how he loves her and how no matter what he's gonna do, everything's gonna be okay. And then she's like, "Don't talk like you're not coming back." He's like, "I'm coming back." And he's like, promise me right now you're coming back." And he's like, "Grace, I promise I'm coming back." And then they hug, and then she's like, "If it's not too much trouble, can you please bring my fiance back with you?" And then he looks at her and he's like, "Jesus." And then he hugs her because he just found out like, "Oh shit,
I was trying to fucking kill him up
yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna shoot his fucking head." You know what I mean? So. They're putting on the gear in slow-mo.
Yes.
Slow-mo, and the astronauts, he's like, and then one guy's like, "Astronauts, this way," in slow-mo, and they all got their gear on, and they're walking to the ship, right?
Oh.
Yeah. And then Ben Affleck, he pulls this is my favorite scene in the movie. He pulls the Grace chick, Liv Tyler, aside, and everybody's walking away, and he's like, "All my bags are packed. I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door. I'd hate to pick you up. No, what is that? I'd hate to wake you up and say goodbye. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again." And then right then, bro, it cuts to the
He
bear.
sings all of that?
No, yeah, he sings all this. And everybody's kind of stopping, like looking at him like crazy, right? Like, "How you doing?" Like, "What the fuck?" And then my favorite part, then the bear dude, right? No expression. The big Michael Clark Duncan goes, "Leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again." And then the Steve Buscemi guy's like, "Leaving on a jet plane." And then, like, bro, and then the big fat Max guy's like, "Whoa!" And then all the government's just like looking at him like, "What the fuck?" That's what I do. It's the best scene in the movie. Clearly the best scene in the movie. And then the Bruce Willis character looks back and he's like, "Does that kid take anything seriously?" And he's like, "No." And then the number 2 guy goes, "No." And he goes, "But I used to know a guy like that." Like looking at Bruce Willis, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Bruce Willis kind of looks at him like, "Fuck you, man."
Well, at least it wasn't a song by her dad again.
And then Ben Affleck looks at the Liv Tyler girl and he's like, "I'm marrying you." And she's like, "You better come back." And then they kiss, separate. So the president is now giving a speech over somber music, like to the world, right? Like and he's like, "This is our Armageddon," and he's like, "This is the end of all things."
Oh, he said it.
Yeah,
I'm
he
sorry,
said the end of all.
I was too busy thinking about that fucking song.
It's so funny. It's my favorite scene in the movie. That's why I sang it all, because I was like, you gotta sing it all to get the whole joke, and it's really funny.
Oh, they said Armageddon.
Yeah, so is that Armageddon?
Finally.
The president says it in this lame-ass way. This is our Armageddon.
Obviously.
And he's like, the end of all things. He's like, but for the first time ever, we actually have the technology to fight it, and we will. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's what the dinosaurs didn't have. They're really shitting on the dinosaurs for not having technology.
Yeah, they're really giving it to these dinosaurs. Like, man.
Like, it's their fault.
Yeah,
They're not like it.
Yeah. And at a certain point, it's like, bro, what did the dinosaurs do to you?
So they show everyone all over the world listening to this speech, which is really weird to me. They show everyone over the world listening to the president's speech in different languages.
Of course.
I'm like, but why the fuck are they all listening to the president and not their own person?
Well, because America's the most important thing that's ever happened. What do you mean?
Bro, not another leader is saying anything. Like, bro, I'm talking about, bro, it's showing people praying in mosques and they're listening to the president talk in mosque form. However mosque niggas talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, they showed it in every. Like, why would they all be listening to the president? That makes none of their leaders have nothing to say about this.
No, obviously not. They're like,
they're all like listening like on radio. It's 98. It's 98, bro.
Well, you know how mosque people are. Always listen to radio.
Radio while they pray.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know how it's. Every time I went to mosque when I was a little kid, there was always today's hit music playing in the background.
So they show they're showing the NASA guys on the TV walk up to the plane, and everyone in the world is listening and watching the speech and shit. And then the little kid goes, "Mom, that salesman's on TV," and she looks and she drops her fucking phone and coffee, and she's like, "Oh!" And then she goes up to him and she's like, "That's no salesman, that's your pappy."
That's probably not the best way
to break it to him.
Yeah.
That's your daddy.
Yeah.
That's your daddy.
Yeah.
It's a white lady, too.
This
is a white woman, though. It's not a black lady.
Yeah, that's really...
That's your baby.
That's really weird. Well, what? All right, anyways.
So...
He's about to die.
He's about to die.
Yeah.
So obviously. So the Freedom Crew, so it's like the two space shows, they got the Freedom Crew and the Independence Crew, right? And so they're like, Freedom Crew this way, Independence Crew this way, and they're all splitting up, right? And then it gets to Ben Affleck and Bruce Willis, and they're like saying like bye to each other. And like, it's like a little somber moment, and they're like, take care of yourself, kid, kind of shit. Like, you know what I mean? Ben Affleck goes to Independence, Bruce goes to Freedom. All right? So Ben Affleck, they get on his crew. He's like Owen Wilson, Michael Clark Duncan, and he's like, he asks Owen Wilson, he's like, how you feeling? He's like, Owen Wilson's like, like 98% scared, like excited, like 2% scared. He's like, or maybe like 98% scared, 2% excited. Either way, feeling really good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Like, either way, feeling good about it. You know what I mean?
That's pretty good.
You strap me in really tight. I was like, I don't want to fall. This thing goes up, and they're strapping everybody in. Yeah. Getting everybody ready for the launch. They give the countdown. Fucking launches, right? Goes well. Everyone in the world claps. Everybody's happy, right? And he's like, Roger Control, we are at max Q. And he's like, Houston, this is a kick-ass ride and all this. You're like, yeah, everything's going good. So, Owen, they get to space and Owen Wilson yells. He's like, everybody. It's like, wow, this is space. It's like, look at it. And he's like, this is just the beginning of space, too. We haven't even gotten to outer space yet.
What does that even mean?
Almost is just talking.
He's killing it, though.
He's killing it, bro.
Yeah,
he has a couple lines. He has a Star Wars reference earlier in the movie that I forgot about, but it's funny, too. He's just killing it, bro. He's just killing it in this goddamn movie. So NASA tells them, hey, you guys got to go refuel at the Russian space station. That's the first plan. And the guy who's been in there, he's been there for 18 months.
Oh, so he's crazy.
He's a little crazy. They're like, he's been there by himself for 18 months, so just know that, all right? And they were like, this Russian spaceship has been up there for 11 years. It's like a lot of people don't even have cars that long. So this is an old ship. Know that as well.
Right.
All right. So they land. They're looking for the Russian guy. They both dock. They land. They meet up in the middle, and they're like, where's this dude? And then the Russian dude pops down, and he's in the movie Bad Boys 2.
I haven't seen Bad Boys 2.
He's my nigga in Bad Boys. He's a crazy Russian. He's the exact same character.
Okay.
He's a crazy Russian dude. And that's why I was like, if you see Bad Boys 2, he's like, oh, he's that guy.
Okay.
He's literally that guy.
No idea.
So he's like, do not be touching anything. Like he talks like, you know what I mean? He's just like a crazy dude.
Yeah.
And then he calls the AJ dude, the Ben Affleck guy, to follow him. He's like, you'll be watching fuel gauge. And he has him walk downstairs to like this crazy fuel pod. And then he gives him like all these instructions in like his crazy Russian accent. And Ben Affleck's like looking at him like, what? And then he just leaves him. And Ben Affleck said, what? You know? And so everybody else goes off to start filling up the ship. So everybody goes, grabs lines, they do all the connecting, they go grab the fuel. You know, they're just doing all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
While this is happening, there's a leak. They show that there's clearly a leak going on. And Ben Affleck, he's calling up, he's like, hey, yo, everybody, the fuel gauge is going crazy down here, you know, but they don't hear him, right? And he's kind of like waving at the camera. There's a camera, and he's like, you know, fuel gauge. And they're upstairs like talking about like the Russian guy's like, my uncle was hero. Like he's just like talking crazy shit. And so while they're fueling up, and then finally one of the people in the ship go like, hey, something's going on with the fuel, like the thermostat or something's not right with the temperature coming in. It's too much pressure. Or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like something's not right.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh no, and they look down and then they see AJ, he's screaming on the thing, and then boom, just like that fire starts because of the leak, right? And they're like, oh no. And so he runs back to the Russian guy, starts running back for him, and then of course the Houston's like, yo, get out of there now.
Right.
Whoever, leave whoever you gotta leave, but you gotta get out of there right now. You gotta save the world. Fuck them.
Right.
And so the Russian guy screams, and he's like, everybody get back to the ship, get back to the ship. More fire starts in the fuel pod, and then they're screaming for AJ to climb out. So AJ starts climbing, bro, and it's like fire fucking.
Yeah.
You know, he's just climbing back up this ladder. Everybody else leaves him, and the Russian, like they're pulling the Russian, like, yo, we gotta leave him. And he's like, get off of me. And he stays to save him, the Russian guy. So Bruce Willis doesn't know there's any of this going on. He's still back helping out over here, right? So everybody else runs back to the ship. And then Bruce Willis is like, he's freaking out, and he's like, you know, where's AJ? Where's AJ? And they're like, we had to leave him. He's like, we can't leave without AJ. And he starts like fighting and shit to get back. And they're like, and the number 2 guy throws him into the ship. And he's like, hey, it's him or all of us. We gotta go, you know? And he's like, no. And they're like all screaming. And then something's about to land and hit, like, as they're screaming, like, the number 2 guy looks up out the ship and he's like, whoa. Because the thing is like spinning right at them. Right. And then they just pull off and they have to leave. So they leave.
They had to leave.
And so the AJ and Bendu, they're like, fuck. So now they got to get to the other ship, right? They got to get there. So they climb up over the thing and he's like, you got to hold your breath. It's below freezing temperatures up here. You're going to have to hold your breath. If you breathe in, your lungs will collapse, period. Right. So they're like, all right, go. So they fucking hold their breath. They climb over the thing.
AJ and the Russian.
Yeah, they rush. And then like back at Houston, you can see them. There's like 2 dots. Right. So they don't see that, but they just see these 2 dots. And so they're like letting them like, hey, they're climbing. We don't know where, but they're climbing. So they're climbing and they land and they land through and they're like, they're like, all right, how do we get out of here now? And they're like, they start running towards the motherfucking ship. Motherfucking door explodes, almost hits them. Right. Running.
Exploding behind them.
Oh, yeah, man, they're running. And they finally get to the thing, and they're banging on the door, and they're about to pull off, and then Michael Clark Duncan's like, I'm opening it, and he opens the door, and they dump in, and then he closes it, and then they fucking take off.
Both people, they save the Russian as well?
Yeah, and then
the Russian lives. I totally thought he was going to die.
Everybody is accounted for, including 1 Russian cosmonaut, and everybody goes crazy.
Yeah.
You said the Russian wasn't going to die?
I thought the Russian was going to die. I'm so happy.
It ain't over, baby.
Well.
This movie definitely ain't over.
Let me have this moment. Jesus.
We haven't even slingshot around the moon yet, my nigga.
I know. God damn, man.
And then,
took my happiness from me.
The Russian guy, he's laying there like everybody's breathing heaven, and he's like, I told you all, touch nothing but your bunch of cowboys. That's how he says it. But bunch of cowboys. So the media is on Earth. They're covering like everything that's happening, right? And then they're like, hey, it's a big. Everybody on Earth now knows it's a big day, and they're slingshotting around to the moon today. And so apparently radio contact is out there. Like, yo, we won't have radio contact back in until you're back on the asteroid. So good luck. We don't know what's going on. Right. So this is the part where they're like, is this the part where we hold on real tight and hope not to die? And they're like, here we go. And then they start fucking slingshotting around and like, bro. And then they hit the boosters and then they start, 9 Gs, 10 Gs. Everybody's like screaming, 11 Gs. We're at 22,500 watts. They're screaming like, oh, we're gonna die. You know what I mean? And then they fucking, they land. They don't land, but they like get out of it. Yeah. And then they see the asteroid and it looks like something out of fucking Thor, nigga. Just like out of the Thor universe. Okay. It just looked fake. It just looks like some space shit, nigga. Okay. You know what I mean? Okay. And then they're like,
it's like glowing green or some shit.
Yeah, it's exactly glowing green. Yeah. And they're like, oh, you got to see this, NASA. Oh my God, put your eyes on this. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, all right, we got to land. Look out for the smaller asteroids. This could get a little bumpy, right? So now they're like trying to land.
Yeah, now they're dodging shit.
They're dodging shit. And then Independence people, they're like, it's too much debris, it's too much. And then they get hit and the top part of their spaceship gets hit. knocks it off. So they're spinning. And then the guy's like, Mayday, Mayday, we're going down, we're going down. And then the Billy Bob Thornton dude, he like drops his coffee in slow-mo to let you know that this is really a serious problem.
Yeah.
Like this is the coffee dropped in slow motion. Yeah, exactly. Like a fucking 300 scene.
Yeah.
And so everyone, he's like, throw on your helmets and get to the cargo bay. He's yelling to the Ben Affleck guys and all those dudes back there. And they're all
This is
like,
Ben Affleck.
yeah. And then the Owen Wilson guy's like reaching for his helmet. And he's like, I can't get my helmet because it's like floating away.
Yeah.
You know? And he's trying to grab it. And then right as that's happening, a fucking rock smashes in the front and sucks all those dudes out. The pilots, so they get sucked out immediately. And then now the thing is spinning, and it's just everybody, like right as that happened, AJ and the Russian dude locked themselves in the debris thing, and now it's spinning towards the asteroid, right? Just out of control. And the people flying out the ship are hitting the other ship. No, the other ship. And then so the freedom guys, they're like, oh my God, is that the Independence? No, like they're getting fucked. No,
yeah.
Is that the Independence? And then they're like, what's sharp? What the hell is that? And he's like, Independence is dead on a stick. And they're like, no. And then they're like, Houston, they will not make it. They have gone down. So Houston definitely knows. They're like, oh fuck, we have one ship that completely went down now. And then now that like they're sitting there like, where are you guys? And like, Houston, we overshot our landing field. And he's like, and then they land on like some crazy horrible ice field, but they land.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then they're like, where's the other shuttle? Sharp, where's the other shuttle? This is Steve Buscemi. And he's like, it's off the grid. He's like, off the grid? What the fuck does that mean? And he grabs him. Another guy grabs Steve Buscemi and he's like, you saw what happened. You know where they are. And then he's like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, Bruce Willis is like, let's ask God to take care of our friends. That's all we can do now. May they rest in peace. And he's like, we got 8 hours. We got a job to do. Let's go home. And so they cut to, you know what I mean?
Right.
Radio signals are dead. And then the Rockhound dude says, like, he's talking to the Colonel Sharp guy, and he's like, thanks to Captain America over here, we overshot our landing field. And the Captain America is like, what does that mean? And then he tells him, like, in all the science for him about, because he's really smart, about like how they use, like, you landed us on our goddamn iron plate. He's like, that's why there's no radio signal and how we're gonna drill through this shit.
Right.
And then so they're like, oh, they're kind of just looking like confused. And then back at the other crashing, AJ is waking up. The Ben Affleck guy, he's coming too, right? And he opens the door and he's like, is anybody alive? Anybody? And he sees the Owen Wilson character, and the Owen Wilson character's dead.
Oh, shit.
And he runs up to him and he's like, no. And he's like, anybody, please.
No.
And then the Russian dude's like, I'm here. I am still alive. And then the bear dude, Michael Clark Duncan, goes, I'm here too. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, and he runs up and he's like, Bear. And he's like, I'm so glad to see your ugly face, And so it's those three. Those are the three dudes that survived that.
Make it.
Yeah. So back at the other ship, they all head outside and prepare to start drilling.
Right.
You know what I mean? They get the armadillo and all this shit. And they're like, this place is something out of Dr. Seuss's worst nightmare. They're like,
God. Jesus. This is just almost good lines in this movie everywhere.
They're looking for the best. It is.
Yeah.
They're looking for the best spot to drill. Right?
Yeah.
They're looking for the best spot to drill. And they can't find one. And they're like, it's too much iron, whatever. And then they're like, fuck it, we're going to drill right here. And then they're like, Bruce Willis, how do you know this is the place to drill? And he's like, well, I know right here that for a fact that the iron isn't thicker than 50 feet. And they're like, how do you know that? He's like, because it is. We're fucked anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's it is what it is. Like, so
we're here.
We're here. We can't go anywhere else. We got to drill here or we're done.
It's in a large iron field.
If it's over than 50 feet, then we're just done.
Yeah.
And so they start drilling, and then after 10 feet, the first head breaks. And they're like, have you ever seen a drill head break in 10 feet? And all of them are like, we're fucked.
Yeah.
So they try to get to another one. And then Freedom gets contact, and Houston now knows that they're alive and drilling.
Okay.
So they radio, so Houston at least knows that. They landed, they're live,
and they're drilling.
Okay? And then Ben Affleck comes back to him, and he's like, I'm going to get us out of here. And the Russian guy's like, how do you plan to get us out of here? And he's like, let me show you how I do things where I come from. And he gets in the armadillo and he shoots down the spaceship and he drives out. It's a pretty cool scene.
Okay.
Like he's like, and he busts through the door. So now all three of them are driving in the armadillo.
Okay.
All right?
Across space.
Across the asteroid.
Okay.
So Bruce Willis.
Oh, they're on the asteroid.
They're on the asteroid.
Okay.
So they landed. They crash landed on the asteroid.
On the asteroid. I thought
so now they're
yeah.
in the armadillo. They're just driving.
Right.
They bust it out.
Who has the bomb?
Both of them had a bomb.
Okay, so they sent two teams just in case one failed.
Yeah, and the bomb
Smart.
did not explode on the other ship.
Thank God.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
It would have definitely been noticed.
Killed more than Owen Wilson.
But everybody.
Yeah.
So
All right, so
Bruce
they're
Willis
drilling.
and the team, they're digging, baby. They're digging. And he's like, we're gonna chew this iron bitch up. And they're like all like gung-ho about it. And then the team has another mishap, right? And the number 2 guy, he almost dies again.
Okay.
It's just like they're trying to drill and just like something ricochets
Yeah.
off. And it's just they can't get through it. And then Bruce Willis asks, he's like, I need God, I need your help. And then they're like, I think you're close enough, he might hear you. Say it again. And they look up and they're like in space, So back at Houston, it's really funny. Back at Houston, they find out in 7 minutes, there will be radio silence. They will not be able to communicate anymore at all. And they go, 5 minutes after that, they will not be able to remote detonate the nuke. So they
have 12 minutes.
12 minutes before they have, it's all up to them.
Okay.
They can't make any decisions down there.
Okay.
And so we have to inform the president, right? Back on the Armadillo, Ben Affleck is pissed because they're like, where are you going? He's like, I'm just trying to get to the beep. And it shows like a little beep on the screen. And they're like, well, you don't even know where you're going. American doesn't know.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just trying to get to the goddamn beep. I don't know where we are. All my friends are dead.
Mm-hmm.
Just let me go to the beep,
Right.
So Colonel, back on the other ship on Freedom, Colonel Sharp and Bruce Willis, they're arguing. Because Colonel Sharp's trying to figure out how deep they've dug, and Bruce Willis isn't telling them. He's just telling them, like, hey, we need your help. And he's like, how deep have you dug? He's like, look, man, I need your help out there. It's not going as planned. He's like, how deep have you dug? You're supposed to be 200 feet. How deep? And they're arguing. And then finally he's like, we're at 57 feet. And then he's like, but if you help us, maybe we'll get farther. And Sharp's like, you're supposed to be at 200 feet. What the fuck? And they argue, and they go back in front of the cameras. They don't realize that Houston, like, just got the cameras working.
Right.
So now they can see them, but they don't know. So they're still arguing, right? And he's like, he's like, me and my men are trying to get this hole dug. And then Colonel Sharp's like, you and your men are the biggest mistake in NASA. And everybody at the NASA thinks like he called him an N-word pretty much. Like, the biggest mistake in NASA?
Yeah, we've made bigger ones. That's what the reaction is.
We lied about the moon.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
lied about the moon.
Like, nigga, so they're upset. They're like, oh my God. And they're arguing, and he's like, the president calls.
Okay.
And he calls Billy Bob Thornton and those people, and he overrides, and he says, we're going to secondary protocol. And then a bunch of military people come in, and they're like, we're going to blow the nuke right now. And then they're like, you can't blow the nuke. My men are up there. They don't know what's going on. He's like, we got to blow the nuke now. The president made the call. It is what it is, And he's like, if he detonates that nuke up there, we waste a perfectly good bomb. You know what I mean? Like, we can't do this. And then Colonel Sharp, like, it goes back to him on the Freedom thing, and he's grabbing a gun out the lockbox. Like, for no reason. Like, he's just grabbing a gun out of nowhere, right? And he puts it in his spacesuit. So it cuts back to them on Earth, and they're trying to convince the president to not blow up the thing.
Right.
And it's Billy Bob Thornton. He's like, President, I'm telling you, if you do this, you're going to kill a bunch of good men. You're going to waste a bomb. You're going to kill everybody on Earth. You can't do this. And then they can't talk him out of it. The president's like, I'm doing this anyway. And then he's like, he's like, please, Mr. President, you can't. I'm sorry, you can't. And then he's like, I'm doing it anyway. And then the Liv Tyler goes, that's my father up there.
And the president's like, oh, I didn't see it like that.
Well, the president, the Billy Bob Thornton guy goes, this is one order you shouldn't follow, and you fucking know it. It's the one fuck they drop in the movie. Yeah. You fucking know it. He's yelling at the general. And then the general's like, they start the bomb, and he's like, God be with him. And he turns the key. So back on the Freedom ship, the number 2 guy, he's like watching the colonel and them back and forth, and then he notices the bomb, and it just starts ticking. And then he's like, Harry, the clock on that 9 feet nuclear weapon just started ticking. And then they all look in slow-mo, and they're like, and they all start panicking. They all start yelling about, like, the hole isn't dug. What are we going to do, blah, blah, blah. And then Colonel Sharp's like, secondary protocol. And then Bruce Willis is like, what's secondary protocol? And he's like, that means the president, overrided the system, and that they want us to blow the bomb now. And he's like, well, we didn't dig the hole. And he's like, it's too, we have to do it. We have to throw the bomb out. It doesn't matter. He's like, but my men are still out there digging the hole. We don't have enough time. He's like, it doesn't matter. The president. He's like, why are you listening to the fucking president? He's not here. So they're arguing and arguing. Bruce Willis is like, I'm not letting you do this. And he grabs a wrench to hit him. And as he turns around to swing it on him, the Colonel Sharp dude pulls out the gun. And then everybody's kind of looking at each other. And then the fucking number 2 guy's like, where the hell did you get a gun in space?
Also, I don't think a gun can shoot in space.
I don't know.
I'm pretty certain, man.
A lot of guns in this, but we haven't gotten there yet. So why don't you should hold on.
I think what happens if you shoot a gun is that you'll go backwards as well. Can you? What? What happens when you shoot a gun in space? I'm pretty sure you can't.
Well, they're on the ship.
Okay.
So in this theory, you'd be able to shoot this gun because there's gravity on the
There's
ship,
gravity on the ship in space.
I think.
Right. What happens next?
So, Billy Bob Thornton, like, well, right then, Bruce Willis, he has the wrench, and he's like, I'm going to give you 3 seconds, Colonel Sharp, to shut this bomb down, or you're going to have to shoot me.
Yeah.
So they're looking at each other. It's all a standoff. They're all looking. And then back in Houston, the Billy Bob Thornton character gets one of the computer nerd guys to kill the link. He's like, kill the link. He's like, kill the link. Let's buy him some time. And so the computer nerd guy, he hacks in and he kills the link, right? It stops. When it stops, the Colonel Sharp guy with the gun, he looks down, and then right then he fucking hits him with the wrench, gets the gun, and fucking chokes him with the wrench, right?
Right.
And the guy's like, oh, I'm just doing my job. And then right then, of course, back on Earth, they're noticing like, hey, why is the bomb stopped? You know what I mean? What the fuck's going on? And then they're like, override. You know, they notice the computer nerd kind of doing stuff. And they're like, get him out of here. So they get him out of there, and they override the system. They cut the bomb back on.
Yeah.
So now, back on the thing, the bomb starts again. And they're like, oh, shit, Harry, the bomb started again. And he's choking out Colonel Sharp. And Colonel Sharp's like, we got to get the bomb off. I got to do my job. He's like, why are you listening to somebody who's 3,000 miles away? We're here. We're the ones that's here. And then the one guy's like, it has 1 minute left. Like, bomb has 1 minute. And he's like, I've been drilling holes for 30 years.
All right.
He goes, Bruce Willis goes, I've been drilling holes.
Okay.
Bruce goes, I've been drilling holes for 30 years.
Okay.
I've never missed a mark. And then the Colonel Sharp guys, you swear on your daughter's life, on my daughter's life, you'll hit this mark. And he goes, I swear, I will hit 800 feet. I will make my mark. And then they're like, all right, let's cut this bomb off. And he helps them up. And then they're like, all right, red, white, blue. And they start flipping over the thing. And they're like, all right, 10 seconds left. And they're like, oh, 15 seconds. You know what I mean? Like 5 seconds. And they're flipping. They're like, all right, red or blue. They're like, red or blue. And he's like, oh, red. And he's about to cut the red. And he goes, blue. And he hits the blue. Boom. And the bomb shuts off. And everybody's like, good job. Good job, everybody. And then the one guy looks up and he's like, God, it fucking sucks up here.
He's right.
It does suck. So they're like, Houston. Bruce Willis, Houston, do you copy? Copy. And they're like, Houston, all like the radios work back. He's like, Houston, you have a problem. And they're all like,
there we go. That's a good one.
He goes, I don't know what you people are doing down there, but we got a job to finish up here. And everybody in Houston goes, yeah! Finish the job!
Yeah.
So, cut back to Ben Affleck and his gang.
Okay.
They're riding the Armadillo and they hit this big hole. And Ben Affleck's like, God damn it. He's like, I didn't know we were going to hit the Grand Canyon on this asteroid. And he throws a rock across the asteroid and he hits, and of course, like he watches the rock. And he goes, he gets an idea. And he remembers something he learned from class, from the training.
Oh, nice.
And he goes, you guys ever seen Evel Knievel? And they're like, what do you mean? And then back to the freedom thing, Rockhound is on the nukes and he's riding it like a horse.
Right. Like that scene from Dr. Strangelove.
Yes.
Okay.
And he's literally, I think he brings it up and he's like, and the guy, Colonel Sharp looks at him, he's like, get off the nuclear warhead. And he's like, oh, I was just trying to reenact that movie.
Yeah.
Like the one from Dr. Strangelove. He's like, you know, when he rides it on in. And then he's like, hey, Sharp. And Sharp looks at him. He's like, no nukes. Like impersonating like a fucking
one of the protesters. Yeah.
No nukes. And then, of course, Colonel Sharp's just looking at him like, what the fuck is wrong with this Steve Buscemi guy?
Yeah.
And then Bruce Willis looks at him and he's like, hey, Sharp, you got any more bullets in that gun?
What does that mean?
He said it to like, we're going to shoot Steve Buscemi.
Oh!
But it's really bad line.
Oh! Jesus.
So Ben Affleck's like, all right, so we're going to turn the thrusters off. We jump across the Grand Canyon. And then right when we're about to land, we cut him back on. Mm-hmm. Makes sense, right? And everybody's like, this is a bad plan. He's like, well, we're doing it. And he's like, all right, go. And they hit it. it works, right? They hit the Grand Canyon, they cut the thrusters off, they go flying.
Right.
So, and then they're flying and everybody's cheering. And then as they're flying, they're like, oh shit, because they realize that they can't steer it because it's off. The thrusters are off.
Yeah, so
it's just going. And then it hits something and then it fucking ricochets them into space. And so they try to cut the thrusters back on. They're not cutting back on. They're like, oh no. So they're drifting into space. And they're like, oh, what are we going to do? And then Lev goes, I'm going to go outside, the Russian guy.
Yeah.
They're like, what are you going to go outside for? He's like, I am a Russian hero. I go outside.
Okay.
So he goes outside, and apparently the ice had frozen the thrusters.
Right.
So he's out there trying to melt the ice on the thrusters, right?
Right.
While this is happening, fucking asteroids hit the ship, bouncing them everywhere. And then one hits it, cuts the thrusters back on. They go spinning. They do a crazy landing. And the Russian guy gets up, and they're like, now I am really a Russian hero. He screams that. And the black Clark Knight's like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. You know what I mean?
You said that Owen Smith is the comic relief, but I'm pretty sure it's the Russian guy.
It's the Russian guy.
Yeah.
Well, Owen Wilson's also dead. Owen Smith is a really funny comic.
Did I say Owen Smith?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I meant.
Would have been really great if he was the black guy.
You know what I meant. Owen Wilson.
So they scream with joy. They made it across.
Mm-hmm.
Rockhound, Steve Buscemi, back at their thing, finds a machine gun.
Okay. Again, I don't think useful in space.
Not like just a machine gun, but the kind of, you go like this.
Oh, like a Gatling gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's that.
Yeah.
He picks it up and he realizes it's a Gatling gun and he's like, he's like, don't worry, boys. I'll take this asteroid out on myself. And he just starts shooting at the asteroid. Fucking the asteroid up, right? And people are like, where is this coming from? And then Bruce Willis, he goes and he tackles him. He's like, Rockhound, what's wrong with you? And then the Rockhound guy just looks crazy. He just looks at it and he's like, oh man, he's got space dementia. Right? That's what they say. He's got
he's got space AIDS.
He's got space AIDS.
Yeah. Oh my God. He got space AIDS.
So while this is happening, Max is still drilling with the armadillo that they have, and fire starts shooting up. And they're like, oh, Max, you back it up slowly and get out of there. And he's like, it's jammed. And they're like, Max, put your helmet on, back it up slowly or put your helmet on and get out of there. And he's like, Harry, I can't, Harry. And it blows up. And then the armadillo goes flying into space, and it blows up. It's Max. Max is dead.
He's
dead.
He's number 2, right?
He's not the number 2.
He's not the number 2.
Number 2 is a different guy.
Okay. Who plays Max?
Big fat white dude. Him I don't recognize.
Okay.
He's the one guy I didn't recognize. This is why I didn't say who he was.
Okay.
So he's dead. And then Steve Buscemi, as like the armadillo's flying into space, he says, really cold, he goes, bye, Max. See you around, buddy. Just like that. It's fucking creepy scene.
Man, space aid sucks.
Yeah, man. So Bruce Willis falls to his knees in defeat. And he grabs the dirt and he's like, get a hold of Truman. Prepare the world for bad news. Serious. It's really serious right now, son.
Yeah,
this is the somber part of the movie.
This is what the heroes have to climb out of.
So the world prepares to die.
Right.
While sad Titanic music plays in the background.
Okay.
Literally the music from Titanic.
Just like a lot of flutes.
As like everybody's going into bunkers and praying and all these things, right? Like all around the world. Like it's showing everybody doing all this shit. Right? And then it shows London, Paris,
London, Paris.
Or whatever. Paris, London. What is it?
I mean, Paris or London. Those are two very different cities.
I think both of them.
Okay. All right. So a smash of the two. And a lot of French people.
All them niggas die.
Okay.
Or asteroid hits them, completely takes them out.
Okay.
Completely.
In London, Paris.
All them niggas. London Paris is gone.
Okay.
London Paris is fucking gone in this.
Yeah, okay.
I actually wrote that London Paris. Sir. London Paris gets butt fucked. By asteroids. That's what it says. London, Paris gets butt fucked by asteroids. This is what happens. When you watch, you're going to be like, damn, it did get butt fucked.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? I already know something you got wrong.
Yeah. So on the news, they say martial law has now been introduced into 32 countries.
Right.
Things are going crazy. They discuss what to do if the Earth, like on Earth, they're discussing what to do if like they can't take off because, they're going to have to detonate the bomb and all this shit.
Right.
And then Truman, like he says, he's like, will they be able to take off if they detonate the bomb? And he's like, I hope so. And then the Grace daughter girl slings him. And she's like, hope so? You better do a hell of a lot better than hope so. That's my family up there. And he's like, also, I don't know why they let her stay at this point. I don't know why.
Thanks for helping out. What?
I don't know why she still gets to be in the NASA room.
Yeah, what? No, you don't deserve that.
So
get out of there. You're just the daughter of a roughneck.
Of a roughneck who is saving the world.
Yeah. Get out of there.
So Bruce is on his knees. World's lost.
Yeah.
his radio crackles. He looks up. The other armadillo.
The Independence.
AJ, Bear, and Lev. And everybody's like, Harry! And they all cheer, yeah! And they're like, get that bomb out. We got to hold a dig, you know?
Yeah.
And everybody's cheering. And they're like, Houston, the other armadillo has arrived. And everybody in Houston goes crazy. And then they go into the office to get Grace. And they're like, hey, your boyfriend's back. And she's like,
I'm still not helping. That's what she said.
And then Bruce Willis goes, AJ, I got 5 words for you. Damn glad to see you, boy. And then AJ's like, that's 6 words. Now where's that bomb? We got to hold a dig or something like that.
Right. Mr. Almost Good line.
So where's this hole you need dug? That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, AJ, we got 250 feet to go. You're on our last fuel reserve. This is our last transmission, our last gearhead. You got to do this. We can't fuck it up. And they cut back to the ship and they've duct taped Steve Buscemi to the ship. Like on the inside. He's just
crazy.
duct taped.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the armadillo does that thing again that killed Max, right? It's the fire's coming out of it.
Right.
And they're like, AJ, you got to pull back. This is what killed Max. You got to pull back. And he's like, we can't pull back. This is exactly what it's going to clog the thing. If we pull back now, we got to dig. We're almost there. And they're like, AJ, this is what killed Max. And he's like, Harry, just trust me for once. Can you please just fucking trust me? And he's like,
this is the time.
Make the call. And he's like, all right, thanks, Harry. Push it through, everybody. Push it through 780, 785, 790. And they're like, come on, AJ. Push AJ. 797, 99, 800, 801. Oh, we did it. And they're all screaming, yeah, AJ was right. And then Houston's like, yeah. And then Houston's to watch. They're like, 8 minutes. You have 8 minutes, till the, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's too close. And if you blow it up, it'll just hit Earth.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right. And then right before they're about to drop the bomb, and they realize, oh, fuck, there's a pipe still in there. We got to get this pipe out. And they're like, all right, we'll send AJ down to cut the pipe off, so we can send the bomb in. They're like, all right. So they send AJ down. He's climbing down. And then right when they send him down, a meteor, shower happens on the asteroid. Starts fucking him up. And then the gas pressure, as AJ cuts the pipe that's blocking, the gas pressure blows him out. So he blows him out. So he's flying into space. And you hear the rope. Like the rope.
Oh, and it catches him last second.
Bro, right as the rope, Bruce Willis notices, catches it last second.
Yeah.
He catches it, he's holding on, and AJ's flying, and he's trying to bring him back down, and he comes flying back down into Earth, and as that happens, another asteroid hits, and kills the comms guy, a guy named Gruber. So everybody's ducking and diving, fucking the asteroids, and they all kind of survive. And then they look at, they're all like, who died? And they do a head count. And they're like, oh, Gruber didn't make it. And it's the comms guy he didn't really have a lot of lines.
Right.
Sorry, Gruber.
Yeah.
You didn't get a lot of shout outs in this.
Yeah.
But,
hey.
it's your fault.
Do
Gruber's
better
dead.
next time. Yeah.
So they go to bury the bomb. Now they're going like, all right, we got to bury the bomb. And the bomb got damaged in the meteor shower.
Okay.
The trigger's not working.
Man, it's just one thing after another.
After another. So Houston tells them the bad news to everyone. And he's like, one person's going to have to stay on the ship. One person has to stay on the asteroid and detonate, on the asteroid.
Right.
And he's like, on the ship, the colonel tells him, hey, we need 2 people to fly the ship. It's only me and her who know how to do it. So either we all die, which is fine. We'll all stay and die, or you guys, the oil guys, can draw straws. And then the Rockhound guy's like, I vote we all die immediately.
Yeah. Classic space aids.
The hairy guy's like, the Bruce Willis, he's like, hey, we're not voting. I'm taking the L for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna let anybody vote. And then the number 2 guy gets up and he's like, my ass, you're not letting me vote. You know what I mean? You think I'm just gonna let you get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you have a daughter.
And then the Rockhound guy is like, no, he's like, I can do it. I think I can do it. He's like the crazy guy, and they all just look at him like, shut the fuck up. And then Michael Clark Duncan goes, and then the Russian cosmonaut guy goes, I do not want to be a hero. You guys stay, I go home, I be the Russian hero. And then the Michael Clark Duncan guy's like, everybody shut up. He's like, let's draw straws, and let's see who's gonna stay here and dance. So they all draw.
Who's dancing?
They're all drawn, and AJ gets the short straw. Ben Affleck's got to stay. And he goes, well, wow, we all got to die, right? I guess I'm the guy that gets to do it, saving the world. He's like, well, let's go. What do we got, 10 minutes? And then Colonel Sharp tells him, he gives him the little kit for the bomb. And he goes, all you got to do is lift, press, and hold. It'll detonate. And, he's like, okay. And then they all say bye to AJ. Bruce Willis is like, I'll take him down. They get in the elevator, and then AJ's kind of crying, and he looks at Bruce Willis, and he's like, can you do me a favor? He's like, tell Grace, I love her, and I'll always be with her. And Bruce Willis is like, yeah, okay, kid. And then he fucking pulls his air tank, and then Ben Affleck's like, like that. And then he says, he's like, give this to Truman. And he rips off his patch. Make sure Truman gets that. And he pushes him back in the elevator and the doors close. And then he fucking like gets his helmet off. And he's like, why would you do that? Harry. And he's like, that's my job. It's my job. He's like, it's not your job. It's your job to take care of my little girl now. That's your job. And he's like, Harry, please, Harry, I love you, please. He's crying. And he's like, I love you too. He's like, you gotta go, kid. And then the thing goes back up. And then he's like, don't do this, no. And then it gets back up and he's like clearly like screaming and crying. And they're like looking at him like, what happened? And then the number 2 guy's like, that fucking crazy son of a bitch. You know, like he knows exactly what happened.
Right.
And so Harry tells Sharp, he's like, hey, you guys gotta get out of here. You know, you guys got to get out of here on the ship. And he's like, on the ship, they're scrambling like to get everybody like up and get out of there, right? And they're putting like Ben Affleck, he's fucked up. He's like just looking like this. Like he doesn't even know what just happened. And they're strapping him in. And then he's like, this is the craziest goddamn day. And they're like, they're all getting ready and they're trying to leave. And then Bruce Willis, he calls Houston from the Armadillo. Like he gets in the Armadillo and they let him talk to Grace. And Grace comes up on the screen, like, and he's on her screen. And he's like, Grace, I know I promised I was coming home. I got to break my promise.
No.
And she's like, I lied too, Daddy. She was like, you know when I said I didn't want to be like you? She was like, it's because I already am like you. And I love you so much. You know, something like that. And she was like, and then he goes, I wish I could be there to walk you down that aisle.
Oh, God,
you know?
so cheesy.
Yeah, he's like, but I'll look in on you time to time.
Oh, gross.
And he's like, I got to go, honey. And she's like, no, Daddy. No, Daddy, no. And then he goes to a static screen and she hits the screen and then it pans away. It's a really very cheesy scene. Yeah. Very great shot. I've always remembered this shot because the shot is like, it's a static screen and all you see is her giant ass hand. Liv Tyler, you got some big ass hands, man. Like, goddamn, I thought that since I was 9 years old. Like, this bitch got a big ass hand. Even when I saw you in Lord of the Rings, I was like, this bitch got some big hands. So she hits the screen. Great shot. Pans away. Her big ass hand is on the screen. Like this, like nigga, like LeBron hands, Kawhi Leonard hands. That's long fingers, nigga. Yeah. Spur fingers. Okay.
She's got San Antonio digits, baby.
She hits her long, big ass fingers on this screen. Yeah. You know what I mean? And on the ship, they still can't take off, right?
So it's just her with her hands on the screen?
Yeah, and it fades off. Right? Okay. Good shot. It's a good shot. Okay. Back on the ship, they can't take off, right? And the one captain lady, she's in the back trying to figure it out. The Russian guy goes to help her. And then he's like, you know, what can I do to help? And she's like, you know, you don't know the components. He's like, American components, Russian components, all made in Taiwan. It's really funny. And then she's like, you gotta move. I'm trying to do this. And he's like, I need you to move. I will fix if you move. He's like, you will make me move you if you don't move. And he's like, and he moves her. And he's like, this is how we fix things in Russia. And he takes a wrench and he just beats the shit out of the thing. He's like, I want to go home. And then it starts working.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Russian
like,
guy.
Finally. And then she's looking at him like, oh my God, I can't believe that worked. Right? Yeah. And then they rush back to their seats and they get on their seats. And then the asteroid's like starting to like kind of like shake and shit on its own, you know? And it blows, like some of it's like the gas pockets are blowing and it blows Bruce Willis away from the detonator thing.
Oh shit.
So he's like, and then finally the ship kind of, you know, takes off. Okay. Like finally the ship is flying away. And then they're all kind of like, as they're flying away, they notice the asteroid hasn't blown up. And they're like, something's not right. It hasn't blown up. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. Harry's got it. And like, give it a minute. And he's like, we got to go back. Something's not right. And then the number 2 guy's like, give him 1 minute. And then Harry's crawling back to the thing in slow motion. And the music's playing all dramatic. And he's crawling, you know, and they're like, we got to go back. He's got to save him. And then the Ben Affleck goes, Harry's going to do it. He's never failed in his life. He's not going to fail now. And then right then, it's like about the last second. And he gets to the thing and he goes, Bruce Willis says, we win, Gracie. And he clicks it. And then like all of his memories of like his whole life and his daughter flash through his head, and then it all blows up. And the spaceship barely gets away and like hits the Earth atmosphere, and then the rock blows up in pieces, and it blows in half, and then everyone on Earth cheers.
But Bruce Willis is dead?
Bruce Willis, he committed, yeah.
Oh.
So everybody's like on Earth is cheering. The halves miss Earth, and then they're like, you know, the Houston's like, you know, we made it. They made it just in time. And all the small debris will be, killed in the Earth atmosphere. We'll live. And everybody's cheering at Houston. Yeah. And everybody on Earth's cheering and like at the mosque and all that shit.
Yeah.
Everybody, like, ah. And then it cuts to Liv Tyler and she's in a thing and she's crying, kind of looking. And then the Billy Bob Thornton character goes up and they hug and they kind of embrace and they're cheering like happy. And then the ship finally lands, and then they're all like, what are you going to do? And they're all like kind of saying what they're going to do. And then the Rockhound guy's like, fuck, I told a guy, I got a loan for $100,000. And they're all like, oh man, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like they don't even they just kind of like, oh dude, yeah, that's going to be a thing. You're like, I don't know how to help you. And so the ship, it lands, right? And they all jump off and everyone's clapping, like walking up in slow motion and everybody's cheering. And then the number 2 guy, he sees that kid. And he runs up and he panics and he runs up and he hugs the kid. And then Ben Affleck, he sees Grace and they kiss and everybody's clapping. And then the Colonel Sharp guy, he goes up to the Grace girl and he's like, I just want to request to shake the hand of the daughter of the bravest man I've ever met. And then they shake hands.
Good last line.
Yeah,
good line.
They shake hands. And then Ben Affleck, the Billy Bob Thornton character comes up. And even the Rockhound dude, like when he gets off the ship, the fucking like the strippers come out and they're there for him.
That's funny.
It's like a good shot for that.
That's funny.
And then like the Billy Bob Thornton character comes up and Ben Affleck goes, he wanted me to give you this. And he gives him the mission patch and then he goes, he did, huh? Because he remembers like, oh, I remember that I told him that I always wanted one of these.
Right.
And then they all smile and then Grace and Ben Affleck kiss and it fades to black. And then you hear, don't want to close my eyes. Don't want to fall asleep because I miss you, baby. And I don't want to miss a thing.
Oh, God.
And then as the credits roll, it's credits, and this song plays, they're at a funeral / wedding.
Right.
It's like a ceremony, has all the pictures up of everyone who died.
Right.
And it's like a wedding, and it's all these different wedding shots of everyone having fun at the wedding.
Right.
And that song plays. Cause I still miss you, baby. And I don't want to miss a thing.
And that's the movie?
Even when I dream of you, the sweetest dream I never do. Cause I miss you, man.
Oh, man. I'm tired.
Love that movie, man.
I'm so
Mom?
tired.
Elaine Poston, this episode was dedicated to you.
Is that our favorite movie?
One of our favorite movies. One of those movies, we watched it 1,000,000 times, and that's why I know way too much of the lines and the songs. Armageddon, motherfucker.
See you next week.